welcome to a new episode of our pod. I'm Sara Toth-Egetö, one of the co-founders of Globe. And with me today, I have Vivianne Aggestam, my partner in crime here at the office.
Yes, hi, thank you so much.
So today we are going to talk a little bit about nearshoring. What we have seen is when we have meeting with our clients about our services, there are a few questions that always comes up. So we thought, why not do an episode to answer the most frequently asked questions? So if you are a startup founder, tech leader, or a hiring manager looking for a smarter way to scale your team, this episode is for you.
Yes, nice. Thank you so much, Sarah. I thought I would explain maybe the term nearshoring first. It basically means that hiring talent in locations that are in similar time zones as you. It makes collaboration much smoother than perhaps offshoring, where you can have many hours in between. So I just wanted to describe a little bit the terminology that we will be using moving forward. But let's dive in. I want to hear your questions.
Excellent. So one of the first questions is, what would you say are the key benefits of nearshoring?
Yeah, I think the first thing that most people think about is pricing. Companies save significantly compared to local hires, right? So I think there are a lot more to it than that. So nearshoring also gives you larger access to a talent pool. It's easier to collaborate in these same time zones, as I mentioned earlier. And I also believe, at least in our experience, that there is a cultural fit that really works well and smooth in comparison to offshoring.
Absolutely. And one thing that some clients don't think about at first is risk management. We have seen that many of our clients are small or medium-sized companies, and they are usually based in one location. So having a part of your team near shore can really help when something unexpected happens, like a power outage or extreme weather, because then you are not dependent on just one location. You mentioned a little bit about pricing, and I mean, clients are always interested in pricing. So can you
Yes.
share a little bit about how much a client actually can save?
Yeah, of course. So I think for tech roles like software developers, data engineers, DevOps, and so on, we typically see a saving between 40 to 60% compared to hiring in the States. We also hire for clients looking for marketing specialists, influencers, social media managers, and so on. And those savings can also be as significant, up to 60%. In the case of nearshoring in Europe, the percentages vary slightly. For roles within the tech sector, we usually see about 25 to 40% variation in salary. So it's still a difference to many customers.
Yeah, and it's really impressive, actually. Another question that we also often get is, where does Globedesk actually find their candidates?
Yes, and I think we work a little bit differently than other companies. We do source our candidates based on each client need. So we personally headhunt, and we also tap into our pool of pre-vetted candidates. Most of our consultants are based in Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, but they can sit across Latin America.
Yep. And for our nearshore clients here in Europe, our candidates are usually based in Eastern or Southern Europe. And we work with a range of companies, from fast-growing startups to more established tech companies. Some clients come to us for one hire. They just want a specialist to join their team. And others, they want to build full remote teams through our services. So how is the process for a new client who wants to work with us?
Yeah. So I think the first step that we always have is that we really try to understand all of the hard skills needed for specifically a tech role, and that list can be very long. But we also put a huge emphasis on soft skill and cultural fit. Asking these questions to a client has really enabled us to make a really healthy selection and work towards the right match. I think this is really important to check specifically soft skills to ensure that there's a healthy collaboration.
Yeah, I totally agree. And for example, startups are usually very fast paced. They have frequent changes. It could be changes within the same sprint. And some candidates, they really thrive in that kind of environment. But other candidates, they prefer more structure and stability. So it's also about finding the right personality for the client and the team, just not the technical boxes, as you
Yeah,
were saying.
exactly. Super important. Super important. And I think the beauty perhaps of our service is that it's a very low lift for the client. You don't need to set up a local entity. You don't have to worry about compliance. We take care of all of those aspects. You tell us what we need. We find the candidates, and once you make a decision, we manage the entire onboarding, payroll processes, and any ongoing support that comes along the way, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So once a client has decided to move forward with Globedesk and they have provided us with all the details about what they need, how long does it take usually before we provide candidates to the client?
Yeah. Also a very good question. It's something that I get almost in every client call. So for most roles, actually, we deliver usually 2 to 3 candidates within a week. All candidates have been already vetted by us, of course. So the customer really meets, high quality matches in our case. Once they choose someone, right, as I mentioned before, we take care of everything. It's a very smooth, all-in-one service.
Huh? Yeah, great. I was thinking about another question that we also get a lot, and that is what makes Globedesk different from other nearshore providers? Because what we have talked about so far, for example, same time zones, pricing, we see that across all providers of nearshore solutions. So could you please highlight a bit what makes Globedesk different?
Great question, and one of my favorites. So I think we have 3 main things that sets us apart. The first one is that we are EcoVadis certified, which I'm very proud of. So our EcoVadis certification is an independent proof that we take people, ethics, and sustainability very seriously in how we actually work. For our clients and vendors, this basically means we have a lower risk, we have a clearer standard, and a partnership really built on transparency and long-term thinking. The second aspect we have, which is you and me, we are of course from Sweden, which means that we have very Scandinavian values in our company. So what does that really mean? That influence how we run our business every single day. Scandinavian business culture is really built on trust, clarity, accountability, and we communicate very directly, I would say, to make sure we have clear expectations and do not over compromise to close a deal somehow. I think for our clients up until now, that really means fewer surprises, more transparency around costs and performance, and again, very long-term thinking. And I think the third one is that we're female founded. I think that's really exciting. That means that shapes our leadership very much and how we work on a daily basis. I think we built Globedesk around empathy, fairness, and sustainable growth rather than an aggressive scaling, so to speak. Practically, I think this means that we manage how people are treated, how salaries are structured, how relationships are managed in a very humble way. And I think for our clients, that translates into teams that stay longer, perform better, and hopefully really enjoy their working place.
Yeah, yeah. I think this really sums up who we are. Like, we are very hands-on, very people-focused, and we truly want our clients and consultants to succeed together. And that mindset runs through everything we do here at Globedesk. Okay, great. I think we have covered the most common questions that we get in our first meetings with a new potential client. Before we wrap up this episode, just a little teaser. We have put together a new ebook. It's called The Ultimate Nearshore Guide, and it covers everything from how to hire nearshore and then also how to lead those remote teams efficiently.
Yeah, and it's completely free, which is nice. You can download it at our website, globedesk.one. And if you are curious about nearshoring, how it would work for your company, please reach out. We would be really happy to have a call with you to explain it further.
And we will also be back with another episode where we will dive in deeper into how to succeed when you are building a nearshore team. So stay tuned. And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, ciao.
Ciao.